On Easter Sunday, the President of the United States posted a message on social media threatening to bomb an entire country and signed it, "Praise be to Allah." That actually happened. Let's break down exactly what went down because the full picture is wilder than the headlines. Trump kicked off Easter morning with a Truth Social post that read, and I'm quoting directly, "Tuesday will be Power Plant Day and Bridge Day all wrapped up in one in Iran. Open the strait, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell." He then signed it, "Praised be to Allah, President Donald J. Trump." He followed that up with, "That is a real message. That's not AI." The sitting president of the United States felt the need to clarify that his Easter threat to bomb a country was, in fact, real. Now here's the context. The day before, Holy Saturday, Trump had already posted a countdown. "I gave Iran 10 days to make a deal or open the Hormuz Strait. Time is running out. 48 hours before all hell rains down on them. Glory be to God." So Saturday, it was 48 hours. Sunday, it moved to Tuesday specifically. Monday, the deadline shifted again. Multiple fake deadlines, moving targets, no consistency. And Iran's response to all of it? Their officials publicly called Trump's posts delusional and said he was acting out of despair and anger. Iranian state media added that the Strait of Hormuz would stay closed until war damages are compensated under a new transit fee framework. They weren't negotiating. They were mocking. So what does Trump do next? He leaves for his golf course in Virginia and starts cold calling reporters. He called Axios, he called Fox, he called ABC's Rachel Scott, one after another. Here's what he told Axios. The US and Iran were supposedly close to talks, but Iran asked for 5 days. Trump said he felt they weren't being serious, so he attacked the bridge. Then, in the same breath, he said negotiations were going very well. He also told Axios there's a good chance a deal happens before Tuesday, but if it doesn't, quote, "I'm going to blow up everything over there." Then he calls Fox and the reporter relays this message live on air.
And the president tells me he thinks he'll be able to get a deal by tomorrow. He says, "I think there's a good chance tomorrow." They're negotiating now. All of this following the president's post on Truth Social, where he talked about these negotiations with the Iranians. We'll pull this up. He says, "Deal. The president tells me if they don't make a deal and fast, I'm considering blowing everything up and taking over the oil." The president went on to say you're going to see bridges and power plants dropping all over their country.
"If they don't make a deal and fast, I'm considering blowing everything up and taking over the oil. You're going to see bridges and power plants dropping all over their country, taking over the oil," on Easter Sunday, after signing a post, "Praise be to Allah." Rachel Scott at ABC got the most detailed version of the call. Trump told her the conflict should be over in days, not weeks. He said if no deal is made, he'd blow up the whole country. She asked what's off the table. His answer, very little. She pushed him on the Fox quote about a deal happening tomorrow. He walked it back immediately. "I have no idea with these people." One call, he's saying there could be a deal by Monday. The next call, he's saying he has no idea. Now let's talk about what Iran actually wants, because this gets almost no coverage. Iran has publicly stated its non-negotiables multiple times. They're not secret demands. They want permanent security guarantees for Iran itself, for the Houthis, for Shia militias in Iraq, for Hezbollah in Lebanon. They want full reparations for the war. They want American military bases out of the Middle East. They want to keep their ballistic missiles, their drones, and their strategic control over the Strait of Hormuz. And they've said, meet those conditions, then we'll start negotiations. Trump's fake 10-day deadline, his fake 48-hour deadline, his Tuesday is Power Plant Day post. None of that changes any of those demands. Iran hasn't moved. Meanwhile, there's a parallel story developing that's getting buried under the social media noise. An F-15E was shot down over Iran. The pilot survived, reportedly injured, though the severity is unclear. The Trump administration initially framed the rescue mission as a clean success. Here's what we actually know about that mission. 2 MC-130J aircraft were destroyed. These are roughly $100 million aircraft, massive transport planes used for special operations drops. An MH-6 Little Bird helicopter was also destroyed. 2 Reaper drones used in the rescue were taken out. Then factor in the F-15 itself, an A-10, and 2 additional helicopters lost in separate recent incidents. You're looking at somewhere between 6 and 10 major aircraft destroyed for one rescue mission. Iran's parliament speaker posted photos of the wreckage and wrote, "If the US gets 3 more victories like this, it will be utterly ruined." That's the Iranian government calling this a US defeat, while the Trump administration is calling it a success. There are also unanswered questions. The forward base established for this operation was reportedly near Isfahan, which is also the location of a major Iranian nuclear facility. The administration hasn't addressed that proximity at all. On top of that, the Trump administration has reportedly ordered commercial satellite firms, including Planet Labs, not to publish their proprietary imagery data from the Middle East. So independent verification of what's happening on the ground is being actively restricted. On the broader war front, a ballistic missile from Iran struck a residential building in Haifa, northern Israel. Iran also hit the Bapco oil storage facility in Bahrain. And here's the detail that's going viral. A US-supplied Patriot missile battery fired to intercept the strike missed its target and hit the Bapco facility itself. The video is confirmed by multiple outlets. Iranian media picked it up immediately. Iran also struck a major chemical and industrial zone in southern Israel near Beersheva, one of Israel's primary hazardous materials hubs. This appears to be a direct response to Israeli strikes on Iranian petrochemical facilities. Iran then hit petrochemical facilities in both Israel and Kuwait. Israel, meanwhile, conducted its 5th recent strike on southern Beirut, near Rafik Hariri Hospital. Back to Trump. While all of this is unfolding, he made a comment about NATO that's worth paying attention to. He said he invited NATO to get involved in the conflict as, quote, a test. When they declined, he said he was fine with it, didn't push hard, and called it intentional. Then he called NATO paper tigers with no ships and nothing, and said Putin has zero fear of them. The President of the United States, while managing an active Middle East war, used Easter Sunday to publicly declare that NATO is irrelevant and that Russia doesn't fear it. Senator Tim Kaine was asked on Meet the Press whether Trump's social media posts constitute effective negotiating strategy. His answer was direct. No. The cursing, the bombing them back to the Stone Age, death from above, no mercy, no quarter. It's embarrassing and juvenile. What we really see is the absence of a plan, no clear rationale, no effort to get allies on board, and deep unpopularity of this war with the American public. Meanwhile, corporate media described Trump's Easter posts as unusually vivid. One New York Times analyst called it unusually vivid even for the president. Unusually vivid. Here's the actual situation as of right now. Iran has not moved on its core demands. Trump has issued at least 3 separate deadlines that have already passed or shifted. Aircraft are being destroyed. Oil infrastructure across the region is being hit. The Strait of Hormuz remains closed. And the president is calling reporters from a golf course on Easter Sunday, giving contradictory statements to every outlet that picks up the phone. There is no deal. There is no clear endgame, and the next deadline is already being quietly extended. Watch this space, because Tuesday is coming. And based on everything we've seen this weekend, nobody actually knows what happens next. That's the full picture. If you found this useful, share it, because a lot of people are only seeing pieces of this story.